morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, August 17, 2022.
17.
Okay, going.
So sorry.
No. So, tell you what, let's do this again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Perfect. So, good morning, everyone. We will call this meeting to order at 9:01 a.m. Today is Wednesday, August 17, 2022, and we'd like to welcome everyone to the board meeting this morning. You can join today's board meeting via phone, dial 971-254-3149, conference ID 736-023-979#. Audio capabilities are listen only and are offered on the best effort for the public. Our meeting is also live streamed, and you can join us by going online to tctvonline.com and click on live broadcasts. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to please mute your phones. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute your phone when your agenda item is ready to be discussed. For those joining via computer, please unmute your microphone and turn on your camera when your agenda item is called. All others must remain muted with their cameras turned off. Thank you. Public comment. Those intending to provide public comment to the board may attend in person or email submissions to publiccomments@co.tillamook.or.us. Public comments received by 12 p.m. on Tuesday will be distributed to the board, posted online before the meeting, and become part of the public record. You may also provide public comment virtually by registering ahead of time. To register, please email again publiccomments@co.tillamook.or.us by 12 p.m. on the Tuesday prior to the board meeting. Public comments can also be mailed to the Board of Commissioners Office, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon, 97141. For more information on public comment options, please visit the Board of Commissioners webpage. So, do we have anyone signed up or in the room, or has anyone registered online for public comment? Debbie?
We have one person, not for public comment, no.
Not for public comment. Perfect. Thank you very much. And no one online?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to welcome everyone, and for those of you in the room, please do sign the guest list. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Starr, will you lead us today?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have no public comments. As far as non-agenda items, we do have just a couple of changes. I want to announce that agenda item number 12 has been postponed, and agenda item number 22 is a second public hearing, and the ordinance will be up for consideration in addition to what is listed on the agenda. So let's move right into legislative and administrative. Item number 5, discussion and consideration of a 7th amendment to the Oregon Health Authority 2021-2023 intergovernmental agreement for the financing of public health services. And with us this morning, we've got Marlene Butwin, Administrator, Health and Human Services. Good morning, Marlene.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
So yes, we are addressing another amendment to our Oregon Health Authority intergovernmental agreement for financing of public health. And you are used to receiving these amendments with specific dollar amount revisions. And this really is just a change of where the information is located in the contract. So you'll see under item 2, under the agreement, it's amended to move one section of Exhibit C to be encompassed now in Exhibit A, or Attachment A. So that's the only change. It relates to, again, the finance award descriptions, and that's what's been done, is incorporated that information by reference in Attachment A, and it has to be read in conjunction with all these terms that our legal counsel there, Mr. Sargent, is familiar with. Has to be read in conjunction with Section C of Exhibit C.
Thank you, Marlene, appreciate that. And so I'll just ask Bill, Bill, you're good with everything that's, that we're moving forward with this morning?
Yes, I'm glad that Marlene appeared, however, because when I looked at the amendment, to be honest with you, I couldn't for the life of me figure out what it was.
What was changed? What was different?
So,
That's perfect.
you know, because I didn't see any change in any of the numbers, so now I understand why I did it. So,
Yeah. Most of these changes are differences in numbers, usually an increase in the amount of money that we're receiving, things of that nature. But this one is a little different. Marlene, thank you for that. Any discussion?
No, this is.
Looking for a vote, or vote. Looking for a motion, please.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a seventh amendment to the Oregon Health Authority 2021 to 2023 intergovernmental agreement for the financing of public health services.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Marlene. You've got the next couple also, couple three. Item number 6, discussion and consideration of a personnel requisition for 2 new regular full-time office specialist 2 positions in the Health and Human Services Department. Marlene?
Yes, thank you. As you are aware, we've been seeking administrative assistants, managers, different people to try to fill the roles left by our retired manager that's, oh gosh, back in December. And we haven't been very successful in trying to fill those positions. So in an effort to get some support to deal with administrative duties, we're now looking to some OS2s to at least have some skill set in clerical, some administrative support roles, and then we will see whether they can be trained up to become some of those other more advanced positions in administrative specialists or support for other parts of the clinic.
Oops.
We lost your audio.
We lost your audio. I don't see that you are muted.
How about now?
Oh,
Oh, you're
perfect.
back.
There you go. You're back.
Okay, I just had to look at my settings again. It was giving me a little reminder. Okay, so yes, we're trying to look for some staff that can enter at a clerical administrative support level and maybe be able to acquire some skills and be able to advance and look at a pathway that way. While we continue to recruit for administrative specialists, we won't overfill these positions. I've been talking with our liaison to our department and Commissioner Starr about this, and it's kind of just trying to throw everything at it and hope something sticks. Honestly, I know there's some qualified folks out there that might be interested in beginning a career in healthcare that may not be as familiar, but might work in other fields. This is an opportunity for folks to take a look at that. If you're organized, I'm making my pitch. If you're organized, you know, like working with a team of people to put together a new system and to look at how we organize things internally online, then this might be an opportunity for you to work with a supporting team. So that's why we're looking for these two to post these positions.
Perfect. Comments, questions?
I think it's, you know, what we have been doing creatively across the county in all departments over the last year and a half is to really look at the skills that we need and the opportunity to train up. So I appreciate, Marlene, the creativity and really looking deeply into the skills to determine, okay, we could start here, we can, you know, utilize the folks as they come in this way and train them up. So I'm hopeful that this approach will bring some more staff to the health department.
Good, yeah, I certainly support this. I think also it's creative and I'm hopeful for you. I think the grow your own approach is a good idea, and hopefully it'll give somebody a new opportunity, like Marlene was just saying. You know, somebody who'd like to make a change, who'd like to get involved in healthcare, will be a great opportunity for somebody to get in and start a new career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thinking outside the box, I think that's a great idea. We're going to have to do something. We are short people in the county, all around, and we're looking for good people. So for those of you out there, please look at our website. We're always looking for people that could be a part of this great team that we have at the county. So, Marlene, I wish you the best of luck here. I think you'll do well with this. At this point, we're looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a personnel requisition for 2 new regular full-time office specialists, 2 positions in the Health and Human Services Department.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Having none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Marlene, you've got the next couple yet. Item number 7, discussion and consideration of a personnel requisition for a new regular full-time office specialist 2 position in the Health and Human Services Department, at this point in the health clinic. Again, Marlene.
I wanted to keep these OS2 positions separate, just to be clear. This is actually a replacement for someone who just resigned, who works at our front desk. So this is also an office specialist 2, a replacement position that would be working in the clinic with registration and direct patient contact. So we need to refill this, because those are busy, important people at our front desk.
Perfect. Comments, questions?
So this is not a new position, but rather a replacement?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, so this one really does not need to come before the board. You only need to bring new positions to the board. But since this one states new,
Well, let me look to make sure. I could be mixing them up. I have like 12 positions.
and that's fine. We'll just, since it's already on our agenda, we've already had your discussion on it, we appreciate that very much. We'll just take it up and offer a vote. So, looking for a motion.
Okay, thank you.
Shirley.
Shall we pass a motion for a new position if we're
Well-
not in fact creating a new position?
Good question. Bill?
I'm trying to look
Okay.
to see if, because usually staff are really good about sending me the appropriate requisition when they need to refill.
Okay.
And HR is also good at making sure what needs to go to you commissioners does so.
Okay, thank
So
you.
I'm just trying to see, I could be mixing up, this could be our data specialist that we can't fill, and we're trying to do a new with an OS2, my apologies.
No, it's quite all right. I think Rachel might have a comment.
Yeah, I helped Isabel out last week, so I was helping Debbie put
Okay.
the agenda together, and the form said new position, which is why it was on here, and that's why we received it as an agenda item request.
Okay.
It could be wrong, but that's where this information is coming
Okay.
from.
I'm just trying to find the descriptor attachment
Give Marlene
for
just
the
a moment.
requisition, so.
Okay.
Okay, so this is an OS2 to support our behavioral health team
Oh,
so it is a new position. We do have 2 replacement ones that we're working on as well. I think we have 6 OS2 positions open at this point. So this is for a different part within our department. My apologies.
no, quite all right. I know you're busy and staff is busy, everyone's busy, IS is busy. We're all exhausted. Any-
I need that other manager person. I'm just not as great at adding this to my plate, staying on top of it as well as I would like.
I understand. Discussion.
No.
Looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a personnel requisition for a new regular full-time office specialist 2 position in the Health and Human Services Department.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And one more, Marlene. Item number 8, discussion and consideration of a personnel requisition for a new regular full-time mobile clinic driver. Again, Marlene.
Yes, we're excited about offering this position as we expand our dental services to north and south with our mobile clinic. You may remember prior to the start of the pandemic, we were just moving our mobile clinic out, we were doing more event-based work. We had contracted through BBSI for a driver to assist during those, sporadic kinds of events. Now we're looking for a full-time person who can help us both drive our mobile clinic, which doesn't require a CDL. It is a Winnebago, and you can drive a motorhome, you can drive this. It just has multiple expansions on it and a lot of medical and dental equipment on board. So this position would work with our team, both meeting patients, clients, driving the mobile clinic, and learning how to assist people with registration and community resources. So it's kind of a diverse job for someone who may be a driver and wants to do a little bit more with their background and experience, again, to get more connected into healthcare and to make a difference in their community. So we're looking to fill this position to begin to expand our mobile services.
Perfect. Discussion.
I just think the mobile clinic is such a wonderful opportunity, and I'm excited for us to be able to roll it out to its fullest extent. You know, during COVID, it served a variety of purposes, but now to be able to really get back to what its original vision was around bringing services to north and south and just even other areas in the city where, you know, perhaps those who are experiencing homelessness gather and are more comfortable to receive services. There's just a lot of opportunities when we have a clinic that can go anywhere. So I'm excited to get this position filled and get this thing on the road.
I think it's exciting also. We have folks in both North and South Tillamook County who aren't mobile, who can't drive to Tillamook. And so I think that's great, and I think the job is interesting. The job sounds like fun, so I hope you get lots of interest in it.
And I would concur with both the other commissioners, especially for dental care. Dental care, people don't understand how important the health of their mouth really is. I mean, it's all the systems are connected in the body, and letting dental health go is not a good idea. Just not a good idea. So Marlene, again, I appreciate you really putting this together over the past few years. I know it's been exciting. It's a beautiful motorhome that you have, but if you look inside, it's not a regular motorhome. It's a dental clinic, which is truly fascinating. It really is. So I appreciate all of your work on this. I know you're going to be helping a lot of people in the county with this new mobile clinic. So with that, I think we're looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of personnel requisition for a new regular full-time mobile clinic driver.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, Marlene.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too. Item number 9, discussion and consideration of the Tillamook County Library 2023 Ready to Read Project Grant Application. And with us, we have our new library director, Don Algier. Don, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I am well, thank you.
Excellent. I am pleased to bring before you the 2023 Ready to Read grant proposal. It's a grant proposal for $6,265 for prize books that help to support the summer reading program, which we just concluded for this year. We served over 500 children in engaging with that, school-age children, and even more teens and adults. And this grant is through the Oregon State Library and supports our overall goal of making sure that part of that program is getting books into the houses of children in the county so that people have the opportunity to read and to learn, because we know it's the #1 indicator of success later in life. I'm glad to answer any questions about the grant.
Thank you for being with us this morning, Don. I understand you're doing a terrific job out at the library. Comments, questions?
Welcome, Don, to your first commissioners meeting. Good to have you on board. And congratulations on the successful completion of the summer reading program. 500 children served is a wonderful number, and I'm glad to be supporting this grant for next year's program.
Yeah, agreed. These are fabulous programs. You know, my daughter's a senior in high school this year, but we started reading at the library when she was very small. We always had the sign out there. She loved to count how many books she read and go and celebrate with the different kind of events that were there. So I think this is a really, really fabulous piece of what we offer through our library. So thank you for this.
And Don, it's great to have you here in the community. You've already been in the community, you're a small business owner, but you're taking over the directorship of the library is terrific. Libraries are so important nationwide, and we do have a terrific library system here in Tillamook County, we really do. So we're looking for a lot of great things and to continue on with the library. Appreciate all your hard work on this, very much. With that, I think we're looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of the Tillamook County Library 2023 Ready to Read Project Grant Application.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you very much, Don.
Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 10, discussion and consideration of a contract for general services with the Northwest Control Company, Inc. for the Justice Facility HVAC DDC controls upgrade. With us this morning, we have Facility Supervisor Kevin Jolly. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning. What you have in front of you is the contract with Northwest Control Company, like you said, and it's going to help us upgrade our existing controllers in the jail. Specifically, it's going to be replacing the existing, I guess they call it the brain of the system, but it's the Jace controller. It's obsolete. A lot of these components are obsolete probably by at least 10, 12 years. Another area is other controllers that are in charge of basically occupancy sensors. They can sense when there's not very many people in the room, so it automatically adjusts, you know, the temperature control and all that. But the best part of this contract is we conducted, over a period of about a year, a energy rebate study with Bonneville Power Administration. And they looked at our existing kilowatt per hour usage with the existing equipment that's in the jail and what the savings would be with the new equipment installed. And the energy savings is very substantial, roughly about 95,000 kilowatts hours per year, which boils down to an estimated savings, and we are eligible of a rebate for this project of $22,992. So that would cut down the overall price. The contract price is $45,400. Once it's complete, we put in our invoices and we get a rebate check from Bonneville Power through PUD for $21,000. And that goes into, you know, cut the price down of the project to $23,000. With the annual savings that's estimated, this project will basically pay for itself in 3 years. So annual cost savings of $7,000 in, you know, PUD energy usage. So it's a really good deal, and I don't think it'll ever be this economical for the county to do something like this again, because these rebates are going away left and right. So I recommend approval on this because I don't think we're going to get a better deal and a better return on our investment than this.
Perfect, thank you. Comments?
No, I think it sounds great. I think that, you know, one of the things that we really have to look at around the county are our facilities. You know, they are assets that we are, you know, hold in trust and own for the public and services to the public, and we need to make sure we are taking good care of them. So updating the HVAC when it is due is an important step, and I realize that we're overdue, so I appreciate, Kevin, that you have done the work to really figure out, you know, how can we do this and to get the rebate to make sure that we can get save us some money in doing so. So I appreciate that. It sounds like a great plan.
I agree. Thank you, Kevin. I think the idea that we'll get this rebate and that it'll pay for itself within 3 years is awesome. So thanks for your work on that.
Thank you. It took a long time to get to this point. I'm glad we're finally here. So
Good.
It appears timing is everything, and
Yes.
that's perfect timing. So with that, I think we're looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a contract for general services with Northwest Control Company, Inc. for the Justice Facility HVAC DDC controls upgrade.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, have a good day.
You too. Item number 11, discussion and consideration of an order appointing members to the Tillamook County Housing Commission. And with us this morning, we've got Thomas Fiorelli, TJ, our housing coordinator. Well, that doesn't look like TJ, that looks like Sarah Abser. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. Yes, TJ was going to be here. He is in Oklahoma City at the Brownfield Conference this week, and he's actually been invited to participate in a panel discussion this morning. So he asked me if I would carry this forward, and I am happy to do so. So as you know, Cammie Oftemeyer and Tim Borman, who have been members of the Tillamook County Housing Commission since its inception, have moved on to other endeavors. And before you is an order to request appointment of members to fulfill their positions and their terms. And those are Peter Starkey with CARE and Heidi Lecat from Tillamook Bay Community College. Commissioner Scar was involved in the interview process. There were several amazing candidates, and we were really excited to have Peter and Heidi join us on the commission. So requesting your signature on this order, please.
Thank you for that very much. Comments?
I would just echo Sarah's sentiments. We're super excited to have Peter and Heidi join us on the Housing Commission. The Housing Commission has really been doing a lot of good work, and I want to give TJ some really good credit for that. Since TJ has arrived, he's added some additional structures and committees and really has the Housing Commission hopping over there. I just look forward to having both of these individuals. I think they bring important community connections and skills to keep that process moving forward.
I am grateful to Cammie and to Tim Borman for their service in the Housing Commission, and also grateful that Peter and Heidi are willing to serve, so I think that's great.
As do I. And I just have to point out that the Housing Commission has been doing some really terrific work coming on, and we've had some major successes.
We have.
And which is terrific. Everyone realizes that housing is one of the major issues that we confront in Tillamook County. Very difficult to hire people, and they want to come to Tillamook County. They want to take jobs being offered not only by the county, but the creamery or the hospital or whoever, and unfortunately, oftentimes they're not able to accept those jobs because they cannot find a place to live. So it's something that's important to Tillamook County, and I appreciate all the work that's gone into this, especially the Housing Committee. And I look forward to a lot more successes coming out of the Housing Commission in that program in Tillamook County. So with that, we're looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of order number 22-052, appointing Peter Starkey and Heidi Lecat to the Tillamook County Housing Commission.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Motion passes. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate your time very much this morning. Item number 12 has been postponed. Item number 13, discussion and consideration of a communications land lease with Weyerhaeuser Timber Holdings, Inc. And with us this morning for lucky number 13, we've got John Spence, Communications System Administrator. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Commissioners. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, great.
John Spence, Tillamook County Communications Administrator for the record. Good morning. Up for discussion and consideration this morning is our Angora Peak lease agreement with Weyerhaeuser. Former lease was in place for several decades. It was time to renew. Weyerhaeuser actually purchased that plot of land last December, so when the lease was up, this was a perfect time to update the terms and things like that to go along with these agreements. A little bit of background, the site is actually located in southern Clatsop County, about 7 miles northwest of Short Sand Beach. Like I said, it was originally owned by Longview Timber, now under the ownership of Weyerhaeuser. Weyerhaeuser did work with us, and they increased their rates very modestly in support of the emergency communications mission here at the county, so we appreciate that. That itself, we have.
Oh, John, I think we lost your audio.
I think it's us.
Is that better?
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Thank you. You're back.
And at this location, we also house several radios for ODF as part of a co-location agreement with them, and also Oregon Coast Scenic Railroad subleases a spot there from us for their railroad operations. So Mr. Sargent has reviewed and approved it for it, and hopefully we're looking for your approval this morning.
Thank you, John. Comments?
No, I think I'm fully supportive.
I agree.
So, people don't understand how important this communication system is in Tillamook County. This is one of, how many, I think we have about 12 or 13 of these antenna sites scattered throughout the county. Do you know the number? You should know the number.
Yes, we have actually 11
11?
meters and 13 in total other sites that we use to support.
Perfect. And these are extremely important. I mean, everyone uses the county's communication system, ambulance service, police departments, sheriff's office, public works, you name it. And it's important that we all communicate through these systems. You probably know that Rachel Haggerty's been working on an updated communication system for us. We're making great progress on that. So in the interim, until we start construction of the new system, we need to keep the current system up to speed and operational. It's taking some spit and polish sometimes to do that. John's doing a great job in making sure that the system is up and operational. We appreciate that so much. So this is just one small aspect of this, and this is making sure that we continue to have access to the sites that we need to run our communication system. So thank you for that. With that, looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a communications land lease with Weyerhaeuser Timber Holdings, Inc.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Commissioners, appreciate it.
Item number 14, discussion and consideration of modification number 2 to number 5028, Title III grant agreement with the Tillamook County Sheriff's Office, Tillamook County Search and Rescue Project. And discussing this with us this morning, Rachel Haggerty, Board of Commissioners, Chief of Staff. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is the first of 4 Title III agreements coming before you today. The first one is a modification to the agreement that the county has with the Sheriff's Office from the 2018-2019 Title III grant round. So the modification extends the agreement through the end of this year, through December. And it just allows them the additional time to spend the balance of $37,500 for the Raptor, which is a forthcoming agreement.
Right. Perfect.
That's ready for consideration.
Discussion?
I think it's great. We have in this latest round, well, not the latest, but the next to the latest round, we approved the rest of the funding for the Raptor. So with the previous funding and the current funding, they now have enough money to buy the Raptor.
Perfect.
No, and these Title III funds have very specific uses, and we spent quite a bit of time going through this in prior meetings as we have received notification of the amount of funds, the applications that were submitted, and in making these decisions. So I think we're ready.
Perfect. I concur completely. Looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I approve modification, I move approval of modification number 2 to number 5028, Title III grant agreement with the Tillamook County Sheriff's Office, Tillamook County Search and Rescue Project.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Rachel, you've got the next 3 also. Item number 15, discussion and consideration of a Title III grant agreement with the Tillamook County Sheriff's Office, Tillamook County Search and Rescue, Ford Raptor. Again, Rachel.
So the agreement before you with the Sheriff's Office is a result of this fiscal year, 21-22, round 1 Title III funding. So this agreement is in the amount of $52,000 to go toward the Ford Raptor from the Sheriff's Office for search and rescue.
Thank you, Rachel.
Consideration.
Perfect. Any discussion?
Well, as Commissioner Scar just stated, that there are very specific uses for these funds, and they can be used for search and rescue that happens on federal land. And so the Raptor purchase is to be used at Sand Lake, which is U.S. Forest Service property, so it's on federal land, and I'm excited that we can get this for our search and rescue team.
Agreed, and we spend a lot of time at Sand Lake, and those vehicles take a lot of, a beating down there, just keeping the peace at Sand Lake, so, I think that it's a good use.
And I concur. Looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a Title III grant agreement with the Tillamook County Sheriff's Office, Tillamook County Search and Rescue, Ford Route.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Rachel, item number 16, discussion and consideration of a Title III grant agreement with the Tillamook County Sheriff's Office, Tillamook County Search and Rescue, ATV, and Tough Books. Rachel.
So this Title III agreement is a result of round 2 from fiscal year 21-22, and it combines 2 awards that you made at a prior board meeting. One for the Search and Rescue ATV in the amount of $14,500, and partial funding for the Search and Rescue Tough Books. The total request was 12, you awarded 6, and this agreement reflects that. So the total contract amount is $20,500, split between the Tough Book and the ATV for search and rescue purposes.
Perfect. Discussion.
Just a quick recap, because these funds need to be used for search and rescue on federal ground, and we know that our search and rescue works on federal lands and it also works on state lands and county lands, so we opted not to fund any of their grant requests in full, but rather to recognize that additional local funds would need to be partnered with the federal funds to make this really match up with the requirements of the funding. So that is why they are not funded in full in this round.
Perfect. Yes, so I think we're ready for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a Title III grant agreement with the Tillamook County Sheriff's Office, Tillamook County Search and Rescue, ATV, and Tough Book.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Rachel, you've got the next few yet. Item number 17, discussion and consideration of a Title III grant agreement with the Oregon Department of Forestry for the Tillamook County Yard Debris Program. Rachel.
So the board approved in July out of the round 1 fiscal year 21-22 funding, $49,000 to the Oregon Department of Forestry for the Yard Debris Program. This agreement is for the fiscal year 21-22 round 2 funding in the amount of an additional $50,397 for your consideration.
Perfect. And again, these Title III grant funds are very specific, and that's why the numbers are being adjusted and massaged at Bill Sargent's request, and we came to a great agreement here. So, other discussion?
The Firewise program is terrific and it's widely used. It's operational now, so the intent of the Firewise program is to help people get yard debris away from their homes, anything that's flammable, so you can get your yard debris to one of the transfer stations, and there are vouchers that will pay for disposal of yard debris. Those vouchers are available at the Pacific City and Manzanita transfer stations. They're available at the Public Works Office, they're available at the Commissioner's Office and at the Board of Forestry, and so we encourage people to get flammable material away from their homes and use the program.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of the Title III grant agreement with the Oregon Department of Forestry for the Tillamook County Yard Debris Program.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Rachel, item number 18, discussion and consideration of change order number 1 to contract number 6260 with Columbia Cascade Construction, Inc. for the Tillamook County Courthouse interior remodeling project. Rachel.
So this requests a 1-month extension, sorry David, to
No,
the.
you're supposed to finish this earlier.
And it may.
Our beautiful boardroom here.
Things are going well. There was a delay because of the asbestos abatement, but things are proceeding well. Sheet rock is wrapping up, and we should be moving on to some of the finishes here soon. But it will extend the time out that we had to deal with the asbestos abatement. So this is no change in price, just an extension in time through October 28th.
Discussion?
I'm glad it's getting done.
I'm sorry it's running late.
Agreed that we're
These
glad it's
things-
getting done.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, construction never happens the way you think it will.
Agreed.
Anyone who's done any kind of home improvement project quickly learns that the best laid plans never come to fruition, so.
Absolutely the case.
And
Okay.
it's not really surprising that there's asbestos in this old building. I'm sorry that happened, but
Yeah.
it's not surprising.
Looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of change order number 1 to contract number 6260 with Columbia Cascade Construction, Inc. for the Tillamook County Courthouse Interior Remodeling Project.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Rachel, hang on, I got a couple more. Item number 19, discussion and consideration of change order number 1 to contract number 6222, prevailing wage contract for construction with Lightworks Communication Systems, Inc. for the Commissioners Meeting Room AV equipment relocation. Rachel?
This is a change order adding $18,052.23 to our Lightworks contract for the AV systems in the new 108 meeting room. As construction's ensued and we've continued to consult with the board and IS staff on what our needs are, we decided on a couple of additions of another TV, a smaller TV that's going to be in the back of the room and some additional rewiring. So this reflects those changes. And it aligns with the extension of the contract you just approved for construction, extending the time of work out to October.
Perfect.
Okay.
Discussion?
Let's-
Looking for-
Keep it moving.
That's right, get it done.
Looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of change order number 1 to contract 6222, prevailing wage contract for construction with Lightworks Communication System, Inc. for the Commissioners Meeting Room AV equipment relocation.
I second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. One more, Rachel. Item number 20, discussion and consideration of a memorandum of agreement with South Tillamook County Emergency Volunteer Corps. Rachel?
So we have funded their services and certain supplies for emergency preparedness activities through TLT in the past, and going into budget and approved through this year's budget, the board decided to allocate $20,000 to South Tillamook County Emergency Volunteer Corps, as well as their sister group in North County, all to come out of TLT with increased scrutiny over how Tillamook County is spending TLT dollars. I spoke with the board in a previous board briefing at council approval to discuss supporting these two funding agreements through different means that are not TLT. And so that is reflected here. This is why this is not a TLT agreement. It is a memorandum of agreement, still providing the same scope of work. You'll see a forthcoming one from North County. In talking with the treasurer's office, we've talked about pulling funds out of either emergency management, ARPA funds, or just the general fund. With also, the board recommended over this next year that the emergency management committee find ways that this could come out of emergency management budget in the future. But that is where this agreement stands before you today. And it's executed by the volunteer board.
Perfect. Discussion?
I think that TLT is an amazing funding source for us, but I think we really continue to learn about exactly what Orla is expecting with TLT, and have had some feedback from Orla in the last year that really has refined our understanding. So I think it's a good shift for us to shift the funding sources. I think the other thing is that we had the Futures Council do a community listening for us to really reach out and find out what people felt was important that their county provide for them. And one of those things was emergency services, and as related to preparedness specifically. People really have that at the top of mind, and I think we all need to, with the pending Cascadia event to happen sometime in the future. It could be today, it could be 5 minutes from now, could be 500 years from now. But just knowing that we have that impending disaster for the coast, we really do need to be preparing. And so I think when we look at how we spend county funds. We're always looking, with not enough funds to say, what are the priorities? And I think the community spoke to us about that through the Futures Council work to say this emergency preparedness is a priority. And so I'm pleased that we are finding additional funds to make sure we can continue to be an active participant in that planning work.
I agree. I think that that it was appropriate to use TLT for emergency preparedness in the sense that part of what we're preparing for is visitors who are coming here. So when we're preparing for emergencies, because we're a vacation destination, we cannot simply prepare for the people who live here. We have to prepare for the people who may be here when an emergency happens. So that was how we justified using TLT, and I think it was appropriate. And I think that it's fine to shift the funding source to another funding source, because what I'm committed to is the county supporting emergency preparedness. I agree with Commissioner Scar that the county, through the Futures Council work, the county citizens clearly identified preparedness as a priority, and for a number of years those organizations have operated on their own and done phenomenal work unfunded as volunteers, but I think the county and the cities, we should be supporting those activities. And so it doesn't exactly matter to me where the funding comes from. What's important to me is that we're supporting that work.
And I agree with all that's been said at this point. Tillamook County is prone to hazards and emergencies. We all know that. The big one out there that hasn't occurred in over 300 years is, of course, the Cascadia Subduction Zone event. I think our biggest fear is if something like that were to happen during the summer months, when our population is double, triple, quadrupled in size, and people that come here to visit on vacation, they do not have go bags packed in their trunk. They don't know where they're going to get food or shelter or water or medications, and they're going to be in Tillamook County if this happens. If an event like that, when an event like that happens, if it were to happen during the summer months, Tillamook County is going to have to try as best we can to help these people, everyone, and that's why this preparedness and the Emergency Volunteer Corps of Nehalem Bay and the South Tillamook County Emergency Volunteer Corps have been doing tremendous work in getting Tillamook County prepared for an event like this if it were to happen during the summer months. I feel strongly that we could make the argument that TLT funds would assist our visitors, and it would. But are we ready for that fight? Is this a fight that we want to have with Orla? No, I don't think so. We've got the funds, and at this point, we do have some additional funds that we can spend out of the general fund, and I think it's appropriate. It's appropriate simply because we can't stop the preparedness work that's going on right now in Tillamook County. We cannot. Something that we need to do. Again, the argument could be made that we could use TLT funds, but at this point in time, I think it's a good idea to switch the funding to our general fund as long as we can afford it. Because again, the work must continue with the Emergency Volunteer Corps. So with that, I think we'll look for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of a memorandum of agreement with South Tillamook County Emergency Volunteer Corps.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, so that is the last of our legislative calendar. We do have two public hearings, both time certain. The first is a first public hearing about ambulance service areas. That is a 10 a.m. time certain public hearing. So time being 9:51 a.m., we are going to have to recess this meeting again at 9:51, and we will reconvene this meeting as close to 10 a.m. as possible. And the second public hearing is at 10:15 a.m. time certain. So at this point, time again being 9:51 a.m., we will recess this board meeting.